Hello, and welcome back, everybody, to the Just One More Level podcast. I am your co-host Christian,
And I am your co-host, John.
and this time on the Just One More Level podcast, we are talking a little bit about Nicktoons Unite on the
Nicktoons Unite!
PlayStation 2. Oh Lord, it is a video game that exists. John, why don't you played it a little bit more recently than me? Both of these games that we're going to be talking about actually played a little bit more recently than me. Why don't you give us just a quick rundown of what the game is, right? What are you? What's the point of the game? What are you doing in the
That's
game?
a great question, Christian. So from what I can gather, I think it's a beat 'em up. It's a cooperative beat 'em up.
Mm-hmm.
You run around and you beat up
What do you
things that
what
it
do you
tells
run
you to
around
beat
as,
up.
John?
You run around as Nickelodeon characters. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
You run
that's
around
like the
as
whole thing.
yeah, SpongeBob, Danny Phantom, Timmy Turner, and Jimmy Neutron,
Yep.
all from their own respective shows. I don't know if you pick up more characters later on.
I don't think so. Just based off of like what I
Yeah,
saw on like the box art and the
yeah,
instruction booklet and whatnot, I don't think so. I
uh,
think it's always these four characters.
yeah. So there's all of that, and then that's all I got. So apparently Jimmy Neutron made a machine. It starts out with SpongeBob, and Jimmy Neutron makes like a Rick and Morty portal and shows up in SpongeBob's world and says, "Hey, stuff's afoot. Let's go." So he goes, and Danny Phantom and Timmy Turner are already there. So that works out, and then they go on a quest together. And the first place they make it is Danny Phantom's world, and he's got a big bad prison that he needs to get through, and a
Right.
boss to fight at the end. You have to fight the
Right.
warden boss,
Yeah.
and wow, it sucks. It's not good. uh,
That's
it's
yes,
it's
one
kind of
hundred
fun.
percent.
I did have kind of a good time playing it with my wife because we were just having fun with each other, but on its own merit, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's not great. It's
No,
not. And that's I suggested to Dorsman whenever he went
mhm,
to play it that he play it with his wife, because
yes.
I played it for stream, right? Because I do the whole PS2 Gauntlet thing, so I was playing it for that, and I got
Mhm,
like maybe 45 minutes in or something like that. Realized pretty quickly that this game isn't good. It's just
mhm,
it's not a fun time. So
right.
because of that, I got Noodle to come up and we ended up playing it together.
Mhm,
And that made it a little bit more fun having like a second person to play with,
yeah.
but it's really just
Uh,
not good. And as far as why it's not good, like
mhm.
it looks decent, right?
It
But
does.
there's
It
like
looks
little to
great.
no music
No.
while you're going through the levels and things like that. Like
Mhm,
sound design is basically non-existent. It's crap.
mhm,
The actual gameplay. So like John the Dorsman said, there's four different characters, right? Two of
mhm.
them play almost exactly the same, and then the other
Yes.
two play almost exactly the same. They're
Yes.
technically different, and as you continue, you unlock power ups that are unique to each one. So, like, I'll give
Mhm,
them that. Like, SpongeBob ends up getting the ability to soak up water. Um,
mhm.
Timmy Turner gets the ability to like freeze things or something like that. Jimmy
Okay.
Neutron has like his I don't know, he has something. Danny Phantom can possess people. So like
Mhm,
they get to be a little bit different as time
mhm.
progresses, but
Right.
like it's not enough of a difference to make me care about switching between the characters unless
No.
one of them are like dying or something. That's the
Yeah.
only point that I really see. So it's just boring because you're doing the same thing with the
Over and
same
over
basic
again.
moves over and over and
Mhm.
over again, and you don't have any music or compelling story or anything to pull you through it, right? There's just, other than the art looking good and the basis of the story, other than those two things being good, there's just nothing here to make it an enjoyable experience outside of maybe getting three other friends, playing all together, and then being assholes to each other while you're playing. Like that's that's
Yeah.
the only
That
thing I can think of.
I think that would make it fun, but even back then, even in
Mm-hmm.
2005 or 6 whenever this game came out, the odds of one of you owning a PlayStation 2 that had the 4 controller port
Yeah, because you would have
and
to have the
then getting
multi-tap.
everyone to
Mm-hmm.
come over
Yep.
is
Yep. The
very slim.
I
So you
knew.
have to make your game enjoyable playing it by yourself
Yeah.
in order to have it survive. And this
Yep.
this 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 just isn't it. I've played
No.
games like this before that came out around the same time. Like I have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game
Yeah.
that is similar to this. It's a 4-party beat 'em up, rush through
Right.
the level kind of game.
I mean,
It
Gauntlet
plays
comes to
very
mind as
similar.
like a classic example.
What is it?
Gauntlet is like an old arcade
Okay.
game that's been remade a
Yeah.
million times that has like
Okay.
a similar sort of premise. Yeah, there's
Okay.
a lot of different, like you said, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mhm.
Like there's just yeah,
I would
it's
not be surprised if I have to go look at the box or look it up, but I bet you anything that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is made by THQ. Because some of the
probably
same
probably
nonsense bullshit things that I suffered through this game with, I suffered through the Rugrats with too. So
uh
I bet you the
sure
same people made them.
yeah.
It's
And it's disappointing to me because like I was kind of excited for this one going into it because
yeah,
graphically it does look good.
it looks
These are
great.
some of my favorite shows as a child, you know, Danny
Right,
Phantom, Jimmy Neutron, Fairly Odd
right,
Parents, SpongeBob was
right.
a show that was on when nothing else was on TV. Like
Sure.
these were some these were some of
Okay.
my favorite shows growing up.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
all of the characters together, I was like, dude, that should be so cool.
Right, right,
It's just
right.
not. It's not good
No,
at all.
so you kind of like it's just not very well done is the thing. It's kind of hard to explain. It's hard to explain the awful is the
Yeah.
problem. Okay, so if I can try my experience. So you start right up in the game, right?
Yeah.
And when the game comes up, there's no like fanfare or anything like that. There's a single animation of all four of the characters,
Mhm.
and there's like a close up on each character and a little fun thing like that. And then there's the title. And that animation plays through the entire game.
Yeah.
Whenever
Yeah.
there's some kind of break, that same
Mhm.
animation plays through the entire game. And by animation, I mean like 2 minutes of video,
Yeah. And
like
like
full 2 minutes of FMV plays.
I
Like,
think
well, maybe not FMV, but like,
honest to God, I think
cartoon.
like it was just a cash just a cash cow, you know, let's just
Feels
throw
it
this
feels
out
like
there
a
because it's got these big name characters on it
yeah,
and
it feels like a
obviously it's going to
Happy
sell
Meal
because of that. Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of
Like,
like
it
yeah,
feels like
sure.
you got this game at Burger King, that
Right.
so it's not that great, but you can play it with your friends, and it's kinda fun, and it's got all the characters in it, so that's
Right.
cool,
Yeah, if I
right? You
got
got
this
all
for
you
free with my burger, I wouldn't be mad about it. But like
right,
I'm pretty sure when it came out, it was a you know, a full
like,
title that you
full
had to
price
buy
game?
separately. Yeah. I mean, like it
Wow.
may have been like a $30 game or something. It probably wasn't. It
Mhm,
was probably full priced. But
mhm,
even if it was like a $30 game, I still would not have been happy with it at the time. And like you
right,
mentioned the consoles not having four controllers. I knew
mhm,
one person growing up. That's it.
mhm.
One person
Yeah,
who actually owned a multi-tap for their PlayStation. Like they weren't
right.
that common.
No, they
I'm
were
sure
not.
some people out there had like 3 of them or something or all of their friends had them or whatever, but I can tell
Mhm.
you at least in my area,
Yeah,
again, I knew one person out of my entire group of friends that had a
mhm,
multi-tap. Like
yeah.
what just I don't understand like
Yeah, yeah.
what they were doing. Did and I've been saying this a lot lately when I'm playing PS2 Gauntlet games. It feels like a lot of these games were just never play tested. Like did no one ever sit down and play this
That's
game
what it
and just
feels
be
like.
like, "Wow, this isn't fun." Like
Right. Mhm.
like
No, yeah, I don't think so. I think that this is one of those examples of a studio and coming to a group of developers, probably third party, and saying, "Hey, we need you to shit this out." So there you
yeah,
go. You got three
that's
months.
that's honestly what it feels like. And like
Yeah,
it seems obvious from what is here that the developers could make a good game, right?
yeah,
Like I
yeah.
don't know
It's
if they
creative.
were
You got
under
different power ups, and they
right.
tried to add mechanics to it, like a shop
Mhm.
with Goddard, Jimmy's dog. If you find when you find Goddard in the level, you get to go to the shop. But there's one example of bad game design. Why? Why do I need to find Goddard in the level in order to even
Right.
look at how
Right.
much it's going to take to upgrade my weapon?
Right.
Like, why not an inventory screen? Maybe
Oh lord.
like games have.
I can't wait till we talk
So
about Odin Sphere talking about inventory screens. But that's
yeah.
foreshadowing. Anyways,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
I don't
But
know if they were under budget constraints, time constraints. Like I
could have
don't know
been.
what the
Yeah.
developer had to deal with here,
It
but
feels
it's
phoned in.
really
That's the thing.
upsetting.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. It does. It feels
It
very
looks
phoned
it
in, man,
it
and
looks
it's
great.
just
You have all of the high quality graphics. You have the money of Nickelodeon with this game.
which
But you
makes
do
me
not
wonder
have Yeah.
Actually, I it didn't
Okay.
cross my mind until you brought it up. It makes me wonder
Mhm.
if like they were trying to do something to the developers were trying to do something neat and cool with this
Yes.
game. I'm
Mhm.
completely spitballing. Do not take this as the word of God. But maybe they
Mhm.
were trying to do something cool and they showed like the first alpha to Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon was like, you know what it needs? It needs to look prettier. It
Mhm.
doesn't hold up to the standards of our animation. So they're like, okay, they went
Right.
back and they made it a little bit better. And then
Mhm.
they were like, more, right? Nickelodeon was like, no, that's not enough. So they had to just like stop
Mhm.
developing the game and then just make it
Mhm.
pretty. That's the only thing I can think of right now is like
That's fair. I'd say more beta. I'd say maybe it's not alpha bad, but it's pretty close.
right. Well, I
It just
imagine they
feels
showed it at
very
alpha and that's when
unfinished.
it started, but then the
Sure.
developers were like, this is all headcanon at this point. But then the
Mhm.
developers were like, like I know they really want us to make it prettier and like we'll
Right.
do that, of course, because they're paying
Mhm.
us, they're writing our checks here, but
Mhm.
like the game's kind of shit, so we're just gonna secretly take these three developers and let them produce a game.
Yeah.
But then we're gonna have the other 15 all work on just making it prettier.
All just
Like,
different, yeah,
yeah.
visual effects and smooth
Yeah.
animation cycles and
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. I
Yeah.
honestly, I don't
It
know. It's
does look
very
very
disappointing.
pretty. That's something that I love about the PlayStation 1 and 2, is
Mhm.
whenever they try to not make technological leaps forward and make games that look better and all that kind of stuff, it they look amazing. When they do, like, traditional animation style games,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah.
amazing every time. Like
Stylized. I say that all the time. I don't care
stylized.
what generation. Even now, the PS5 can do amazing realistic graphics. The Xbox Series X can do amazing realistic graphics. In another 20 years, those are going to look like shit compared to whatever's out.
Right.
Make your game stylized and it will last a lifetime. Super
Right.
Mario Brothers on the original Nintendo does not look like shit. You know
Right.
why? Because it
Mhm.
was stylized. They didn't try to
Mhm.
make it look real, man. Like,
Right.
just
Well,
come up with your
you
own
really
unique art
couldn't with the
style and like,
NES.
right. But I mean, you still had stuff like Metal Gear Solid and whatnot, like the
Yeah,
original one. It
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
called Metal Gear
And
Solid. It was just what, Metal Gear or whatever.
but it always looks crappy. It always looks poopy
Yes.
because they
Yeah.
try to use just natural colors, and you really couldn't do that with the Nintendo. You had
Exactly.
about
Exactly. Yeah.
50 to work with. So you gotta really pick and choose, sir. But yeah, it's that's pretty much it, man. No, you know
Ooh.
what? Yeah,
Okay. Go ahead.
I would play just one more level, conditionally speaking. I
Okay.
would play it with my
This better
wife.
be a really good condition with your wife.
I would
Maybe.
play it with my wife. My
Maybe.
wife enjoys this game
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
It's something she played when she was
She
younger, so for nostalgic reasons, she would wanna play more
also
of it.
enjoys Earthworm Jim, so there's that.
You're right, right. Shows you what kind of family we are. But yeah, I think that
Uh,
I think that I would play just one more level with my wife. If
right.
it was just me and I was looking for some entertainment value out of something, no. It's just
Yeah,
it's so forgettable
it
because
is.
they just did not take their time. They didn't care.
The
Everything just
most
looks very
memorable thing
generic
about this
and
game for me is
everything
the
plays bad.
excitement that I had before I played it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the most memorable thing because I saw the case. I was like,
Right.
"This looks good." I saw like the instruction manual and stuff, the back of the case with the gameplay stuff. I was like, you know what? This looks pretty good. I think we're gonna have fun with this one, guys. It's gonna be a good game. And then I played it. So that was the most memorable thing for me. Would I play just one more level? Under the same conditions as you, I guess. Like if it was
Okay.
with Noodle or with a group of friends or
Mhm.
something, I wouldn't say no to it. But
Mhm.
unless I've said it so many times at this point, unless I get to that point to where I'm completing every PS2 game in North America, I don't think I'll be picking this game up again. Um, I don't see the point. Like it's
Right.
just there's nothing
Yeah, I don't
redeeming
either.
about it. So
No, and
like
it's a little bit too, like, I just don't really like these kinda games. They're
right,
not my
yeah.
thing,
Which
you
see
know?
that's not a problem for me. I do enjoy the little bit of puzzle solving, the top down shooter brawler, whatever. Like I can
Well,
get into that sort of
I
thing,
like the
but it's just
Lego
not this
games.
one.
I
Right,
like the
right.
Lego games because they're stylized, like you said. It's cute. It's Legos, right? You have
Right,
fun
yeah.
with
Yeah, yeah,
Lego
yeah.
characters
Yeah.
and characters of the franchises that you like with the Lego games, right? Like Star Wars and Marvel and, Indiana Jones and Harry Potter and stuff like that. You know, you have fun with the Lego games because of, like, stuff like that. you don't. I don't.
Yeah.
I just. I don't know. It's frustrating because it just really feels like it was phoned in and not thought out, and that's very disappointing. It's very disappointing, but ah, what are you gonna do?
Exactly. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
it was the time, but yeah, I would play just one more level with my wife. I would not play just one more level
Yeah.
with
I'm
myself.
putting this
So,
down officially as I would not play just one more level for
right.
me, cuz like
Yeah.
any game I would conditionally play just one more level. Like
Sure, that's
any
fair. Yeah,
game if you paid me enough
I
money, or like if I was
right.
playing it with the right people or whatever, or
I
if I
don't
just
know.
wanted to torture someone, right?
Right.
Sometimes like my brother comes over and I just want to torture him by making him play the worst game I own, stuff like that.
Right.
Like
Yep.
conditionally any game I
Yep.
would, but willingly
That's fair.
no. By myself,
That's fair.
normal circumstances. No. No. Mm-mm.
Right.
Done.
So,
All right.
Christian,
Hi, that's
wrapping
me.
it up here,
Yep.
where do we find us?
With the links below. Right now, it's just a bunch of random links below. We'll probably end up making a link tree, because I made a link tree for myself, and I found out I actually kind of like link trees. So we'll probably do that, to make all the link finding more easy. But right now, just look at the description or whatever below, and there's all kinds of things, man. We have YouTube channels and Twitch channels and podcasts and TikToks and all kinds of stupid stuff. So just look there, man. There's cool stuff going on. I've been making shorts lately, and I stream all the time. Jonathan's been raising a baby, so that's also pretty cool.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
yeah,
I don't have documentation of that online, so if you
right.
go looking for that, it's not going to be there. But I
But he
am.
has. He
Yes.
he is doing that though. Like he's not just making it up.
Yes,
I've
I
seen
am.
the baby in person. He either
Yes.
kidnapped it
Right.
or he had it with his wife, who was very pregnant at one
Yes.
time. So I'm pretty
Is
sure it's
no
their
longer.
child. Right. Yeah,
Right.
not pregnant at this point. So
Right.
like either really weird coincidences,
Hmm.
or they did have a child together, one or the
Right.
other. I not
Yes.
like
Hmm.
there's no way to actually prove, I guess. I wasn't in the delivery room, but I'm
No,
pretty
you weren't.
sure it
I was.
happened. So,
I
but
was.
like you would be in on the conspiracy
I have
though, so can we
I
really
have
believe
legal
you? You know?
documented proof.
That's true. That's true. You do have like yeah, you could have paid someone
So
off though to sign
yeah, I
like a
don't have a lot of
paper.
money though, Christian.
But
You know where I work.
blackmail, like
Oh, okay.
blackmail, that's as good as money, really.
It's just
Um
evolving. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. So like
Okay. Okay. So anyway, that's the end of
anyways,
our
guys.
episode
Yeah.
today. Thank you all for watching, listening, and participating in all of our little shenanigans here that we do. You don't have to, but you do, and we appreciate it very much. So thank you.
Thank
And
you
until next
guys.
time, goodbye,
See you
everyone.
next time. Bye-bye.
Wow.
I love how your
That was
wife says, "I'm pretty sure it's his."
yeah, pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure. Uh,
I
unless it
think.
go switch them last minute. Beat him
Yeah.
up, good lord. No one beat up the doors lady. Yes, no, please.
Oh, I know. I was about to say no, and then
Other
and
than
then I
her
and then I
awful opinions,
got
she
it.
did nothing wrong. So,
She did
but
not. She did
yeah,
not.
Earthworm
She's doing
Jim
a
is the
great job.
shit. Shut up.
Earthworm Jim is the shit. I love Earthworm Jim. I'll
it's
defend Earthworm Jim. I
It
will.
is shit. Again, I've said it a million times. I'm pretty
It
sure I
is
wouldn't
shit.
hate it
It is
as
shit.
much if it wasn't for
If
that
you didn't
boss glitching out.
run into that glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it weren't for that, I probably wouldn't hate it as much. I still think it's
Yeah.
only a mediocre game. Like
Just
it's
in
just
case anybody
middle of
doesn't
the
just in
road.
case
But
anybody doesn't remember, um, Christian is what we like to call a what's the word? A pussified baby bitch. So he
mm,
can't handle
yes.
hard things in his life. He can't.
It's true. It's
And
true.
he's
I can't
he's
handle the hard
also
things like Jonathan handles the hard things.
yeah,
He's pretty
exactly.
good at it. I got a
Yeah.
bunch of crank calls at work today, and like
What?
when people crank call me
Really?
right at work, yeah, it happened. I only got two. That's a bunch. But anyways,
Yeah.
I got two crank calls today. Right? Bye.
Yeah.
You're leaving?
Yeah, see you later,
I,
Rue.
uh, Unless you
Stream
guys
doesn't
are
pay
going over
attention.
Odin Sphere. Oh yeah, no, we're not doing Odin Sphere tonight. We'll probably be doing that next week or the week after. But thank you
No.
for being here. I appreciate you being here, and
Yeah.
I hope to see you in a couple days, Rue. Have a good night. Get some rest. You
Yeah, have a good
deserve it.
night.
But crank
Good
calls,
job being
right?
able to stretch.
Yes, and relaxing. Relaxing is important. It's good for the mental health, good for the body, good for the
Mhm.
soul, all that stuff. Eat some chicken soup, man, or just drink some
Yeah.
chicken broth. I don't know. That relaxes me.
Hey,
But
just
anyways,
go to bed and leave us on in the background. You can do it. It's fine.
Yeah, go to
I
sleep
can
to the soothing tones of our voices as we talk about some terribly inappropriate
I can
things
do some
sometimes.
great I can do some great ASMR if you're into
Ooh,
that,
maybe
Rue.
some tomato. Tomato does sound good too. The Dorsman has an ASMR video up if ASMR is your thing. I'm pretty sure Rue does
I do.
not like ASMR though, if I remember
Rue
correctly.
doesn't Rue does
Um,
not like
I don't
ASMR.
think so. But anyways, good night.